Welcome to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11. I'm Ritvika Gupta and you're watching our very special series SuperAchievers powered by VoiceWhat. Today is our Women's Day special and we'll be speaking to the women of Honasa Consumer to really understand how they are redefining executive leadership for tomorrow. I'll be first chatting with Varun Alagh, co-founder and CEO at Honasa, and we'll also be in conversation with the women of Honasa to really understand how they are driving growth at the organization. Listen in. MamaEarth, an Indian natural ingredients-based brand and headquartered in Gurgaon, was started by couplepreneur Varun Alagh and Ghazal Alagh in 2016, offering natural and toxin-free baby care products. This is India's and Asia's first brand with Made Safe certified brand of baby care products. And MamaEarth's parent company, Honasa Consumer, became the first unicorn of 2022 in January after raising $52 million at a valuation of $1.2 billion. It aims at becoming a house of brands and expanding overseas. The company is equally concerned towards the environment, society, its people in the organization, and supports equality and women empowerment. In fact, Varun Alagh gives complete credit to Ghazal Alagh for creating Honasa Consumer, the parent company of MamaEarth. Let's have a look. Thank you, Varun, for joining us today on this very special episode.
Thank you for having me.
So, you have built this empire, with Honasa and, MamaEarth, along with your wife, Ghazal. And what is really interesting is that there are a lot of women in leadership roles. So tell me, was it by design? Was it by accident? Was it a conscious decision?
I think since we started, we were an equal opportunity and diverse organization because it was just two of us.
Yeah.
And it was fairly 50-50 at that time. And we saw very strong benefits of diverse views coming, right? There were certain experiences, especially about our category,
Yeah.
which Ghazal, as a mother who was experiencing it, could bring to life in a far better manner
Sure.
than I could, right? Similarly, I could bring out certain other experiences that she probably didn't think about. And hence, we clearly saw that diversity of opinion and perspectives finally leads to a much better and higher quality output. Right? And I think in general, we imbibe the value of that, and which is why we have made conscious efforts in making sure that our decision making happens with those diverse point of views in the room, and that's the output that you see today. That so many of our leadership positions are occupied by women. So many of our decision making is done with proper representation and with the right kind of inputs.
Well, tell us why, according to you, the world needs more women in leadership roles.
According to me, the world needs more women in leadership roles because firstly, they represent half the population of the world. Right? Mm-hmm. They represent actually even higher influence, right, when it comes to consumption in the world. Right? And if their opinions in strategic decision making are not taken into account, the world logically is also not going to move into the right direction. And secondly, naturally, there is a better emotional quotient that women have. And overall, I believe organizations with right representation of women leaders have a better EQ is at least my opinion. And again, I think we will all be better off as a world if there was more care and emotional quotient. So I think that's also the second reason. And third, there's just damn good at their job, yeah, right? So I think we'll be more effective and efficient if there are more women in leadership roles.
Well, I absolutely agree with you. On that note, tell me, what have been your biggest learnings, from Ghazal, who's your wife and the co-founder? What have you learned from her over the years?
Well, I have learned that if she wasn't there, we wouldn't exist today, right? Or we wouldn't be as successful, right? There are so many things that she does much better than I do, right? I think she's far more impatient. She has another level of patience that she is able to demonstrate, right? And so many other areas where we complement each other, right? And things that I've learned from her is around patient communication, right? And being able to communicate without sort of, keeping soft balance in mind, right? And a lot of other things, the way she looks at the category trends, consumer insights, and the way she's able to interpret and are things that I've clearly learned from her, right? And from so many other leaders around me. I think it's been an amazing, enriching learning journey, right? Where every day there is someone else who's teaching us something new.
MamaEarth started out as a personal care startup for babies. However, over the last 6 years, the unicorn brand has diversified its products across categories like beauty, skincare, hair care, cosmetics, and office products, having popular natural ingredients such as onion, uptan, tea tree, vitamin C, argan, cocoa, and charcoal. When we came to Honasa, we saw a very high women employee strength. We all know that India is working actively towards increasing women workforce participation, and it seems like MamaEarth is contributing immensely. The company has many women in leadership roles who work as hard and passionately for its growth as their founders. Here's what the leading ladies in product and innovation as well as legal have to say.
Innovation is definitely the backbone, and especially for an organization like Honasa, where we are continuously innovating and we are actually leading so many product categories. It does come with a lot of challenges because you have to be relevant to the customers. You have to continuously feed in the innovation engine, but it is also very exciting. And I think we take each day as a new day, because each day comes with a new thought, a new idea, and we try to execute it to the best. I also feel that any role, be it a critical role or a not so critical role, it just becomes easy with a good mentor and a good team. And I'm actually grateful to have both. When I joined MamaEarth, I was leading color care. And over last year, I have been given additional responsibilities, and I work directly with Ghazal, and it's great to see how the founders are trusting their people and empowering them. And it's just been a beautiful ride, and I just feel so proud to be a part of this organization, and I really feel that we all continue to make this place a great place to work.
Over a few decades, we've seen females to be entering into this profession, and by the virtue of the negotiations that we carry during our normal lives, I think also this has passed into the legal field, be it mergers and acquisitions, be it IP, be it any other negotiation that we do every day. Females have been doing a great job and at a leadership position. I certainly feel that how this male-dominated field has been now looking at females at top leadership position has been because of the sheer amount of opportunities that has been provided to females. And as they say that, a leader has to eat the last and sleep the last. To take a team to that comfort, leader has to think in all the other directions, which I think being a female, that is an innate quality that we take into account. We are born leaders, and I think each one of us has that innate ability to be a leader in whichever field we are given to, be it being a lawyer, being a person who's the finance controller, being in the revenue field. I think we're doing it great in all the multifaceted approaches that we take into account.
It's time for a quick break here. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back to IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11, and you're watching our very special series SuperAchievers powered by VoiceWhat, and today is our Women's Day special where we are speaking to the women of Honasa. Listen in. Honasa follows the philosophy of being present wherever the consumers are. It started as a D2C brand, expanded to e-commerce platforms, and is now also growing its offline channels. It is available on modern trade outlets and sells through exclusive MamaEarth retail stores as well. MamaEarth's marketing and brand communications teams are headed by passionate women who have been playing key roles to grow it significantly. Let's hear it from these female leaders about what it takes to make MamaEarth an emerging force in the digital care D2C segment.
It's an absolute privilege to be entrusted to lead marketing, and it comes with its own share of responsibilities. Raising the bar for marketing is just one of them. But what is really exciting is the ability to lead, inspire and groom the leaders of tomorrow. Honasa has been committed to gender intelligence. It's an organization that has been challenging status quo in several aspects. That's evident from the strong leadership team that they've built right at the top. And speaking of gender intelligence, we see Honasa really walking the talk. So for instance, a critical function like marketing has a majority of women leaders, and the rate at which our brands are growing and flourishing is evident of the fantastic work that these women are bringing to the table. So with such a bright lot of women leaders, I'm very, very certain that the future for us is very bright.
For any brand that speaks to millennials, two things are extremely critical: creating effective content and then placing that content in front of the right audience. That's how your story really gets told. And then over and above this, it's important to also understand who these people really are, who your audience is, to understand how they behave, what they like, what they don't like, who they follow, the trends they follow. When you couple all of these things, consumer behavior, content creation and the right platform, that's where the real magic and brand growth happens. At Honasa, we are not following codes of communication and brands that were set, say, decades ago. We are actually crafting these. We are crafting brand identities, shaping them. And so it's extremely exciting because we create content around this millennial brand ethos, understanding the consumer. In fact, at Honasa, we are actually encouraged to think beyond the structures of communication. Because as we all know, digital has really changed the rules of communication forever.
Honasa's exemplary growth clearly demonstrates the right talent choices of both the co-founders. It also helped them to achieve gender parity in the company with 50% plus women workforce in 2022. Right talent across levels has enabled teams to go the extra mile and deliver their best.
I joined MamaEarth at a very interesting time when we were a small team of just 50 people based in a small basement building, but it was also a time when we were very fast growing. Coincidentally, it was also a time when we were putting together the brand purpose piece for MamaEarth, and I was hired to lead that piece. Influencer marketing was one of the core levers for us to activate any sort of products, and it was the only lever. To a time now when I lead the category marketing piece for personal care and baby care categories, where I'm supposed to build individual product lines as brand in themselves, whether it be Upton face wash or onion shampoo. through massive integrated campaigns. The journey has been most fruitful and awe-inspiring, and I honestly feel immensely proud of being one of the core part of the brand success story.
So industry-wide corporate communications actually is a very female-dominated role, but it's a rarity that you'll actually find women at the top, in top positions in organizations and verticals. But I think in some capacity, Honasa sort of challenged that industry norm when they hired me to lead corporate communications and influencer marketing. And I think that the kind of faith the organization put in me truly empowered me to deliver and stretch and deliver on my role actually at that point in time. So, you know, especially for people who actually join early on in an organization, they become flag bearers of the culture, the leadership style, sort of building the foundation of that role and the organization in a larger capacity. So I think it's extremely important to have the right set of people joining early on. But it is very critical to empower those people and arm them with the right sort of tools to deliver on the roles. And I think the last 2-3 years at Honasa have been a testament of the empowerment, the kind of liberty, the kind of autonomy that you know, all the leaders have been given to build and to sort of grow and become a part of this organization, which has become so mammoth in the last 5-6 years.
I joined Honasa in a function called Brand Factory, which is actually very unique to Honasa. It's actually a startup within a startup where we ideate, launch, and then incubate new brands. And one such brand that I worked on is Aqualogica. Now, building a brand from nothing is actually very challenging. It involves crisis day after day, whether it is finding the right product PMF, packaging, formulations, revenue channels, and just overall handling the P&L. However, I think, you know, women and especially moms, and I'm a mom too, are just so well equipped to handle roles like these because A, we can multitask, B, we can, you know, it comes, since we are inherent caretakers, the whole compassion and, you know, patience comes from within, which actually helps nurture some of these young brands, handle crisis on a day-to-day basis, and just take these brands to newer heights.
Typically, revenue as a function is male-dominated across the industry. Here at Honasa, however, I never felt out of place. It was never a consideration. It was always up to my competence, my ability to pick up new challenges and deliver results. If I talk about my journey here in the last 3 years, I've been a part of multiple functions, worked with multiple stakeholders. I started as Chief of Staff to our CEO Varun Alagh. From there, I moved on to launching our own retail stores. I currently head a vertical of growth where I work very closely with tech and product team to deliver my revenue targets. I own the P&L of a brand, B Blunt, that we acquired last year. So if you notice, a lot of verticals that I mentioned, right from retail to operations, tech, product, have a disproportionate share of men from top to bottom. Here, I never found that to be a challenge. I always felt there was a lot of trust put in me. I was empowered to take charge, and I'm so proud to be a part of the journey here.
Varun, we just spoke to these enterprising women at Honasa. Tell me, what would your message be to them?
I think my message to them would be that we are here to create the most loved and largest FMCG in the beauty and personal care space that has come out of India. And in that journey, we need your passion, your perseverance, your dedication, your emotion, and you to sort of make that happen. And you've been doing it for so long, and we need more of you to keep doing it for decades to come.
Fantastic. It was lovely chatting with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Honasa Consumer has become one of the fastest growing brands in the country's FMCG sector in just 6 years. It sells over 150 products in the categories of baby care, skin care, and hair care. In addition, the company employs approximately 400 people. MamaEarth has served approximately 5 million customers in over 3,000 cities till date. And that's a wrap on this episode of IDFC First Bank Presents Leaders of Tomorrow Season 11, our very special series, SuperAchievers, powered by VoiceWhat. We hope you enjoyed the conversations. Thank you and goodbye.